recording, and we're also starting the session. So I'm going to share my screen right away so I can start from where I believe we should start from. Okay, so by way of introduction, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Chimeze Chuta, and I'm founder and coordinator of Blockchain Nigeria as a group. I've been in tech for about 20 years, and even though I did not study computer science or software development in the university, I studied actually the opposite, which is fine and applied arts. But since 1999, that I found my way into the tech industry, I have successfully charted a new path and created a new career completely different from what I studied in the university. So you are the kind of persons that I want to talk to, people who didn't have the privilege of going to computer engineering schools or studying computer science in the university or software development in an organized institution, because every now and then there is always this discrepancy that comes up, and people ask you, does this guy have a computer science degree, or he's self-taught, or he just learned from resources that are elsewhere? So you're going to deal with things like that. So I believe that most of you here are like me, people who just have completely different background that probably have no relationship with software development and coding, and you will like to get involved. So I think being someone who has that same kind of background and successfully made a career out of it, I think I'm in a very good position to help provide some of the guides that can help you realize that dream. Because the today world and the future that we are going into is that which will be completely driven by software, and there will be an increasing number of people be needed to create some of these software applications that will make life better for humans going forward. So software development is important today, and definitely it will be extremely important in the future. So I have my links, and I'll share them with you. So if you want to get interested, if you're interested in the kind of content that I share, many of you are joining me from my Facebook page, and you know that I don't waste people's time on my platform and on my wall. I try to share valuable information. So if you want to get access to more of those information, I'm available on LinkedIn. And also I have a slide repository at slides.com.chuta. Then you can also follow me at Chimeze Chuta on Twitter. Like I said, I've been in the tech industry for years. So the first programming language that I got involved with was Java back in 1996 or thereabout, when it was rumored that Java was going to run on practically every household equipment and every kind of electronic device that we have. That got my attention, and that was the first entrance that I had into programming. And beyond that, got involved with the kind of programming that you require for web application development. And as at that time, PHP was the top tool that most of us readily hooked up with to be able to create web applications. I created my first website around the year 2001, and I use a software that most of you will never see again. It's called Adobe PageMail. They're no more making it. It's a graphics user interface design environment. And beyond that, I also started using Macromedia Flash to create interactive websites. So those are my backgrounds. So I have strong background in graphics and motion picture development. I build websites and web applications for years before most people started getting involved with it. So if you check the years that I've mentioned, you see that most of you were probably toddlers at that time. So much respect for someone like me. Okay, so I've grown to be a person who is interested in communicating values and helping people to understand the steps that they need to take. So why piloting affairs in Blockchain Nigeria is a group? I've created opportunities under our Blockchain Dev 1000 initiative to help people learn how to build decentralized applications and write smart contracts, and recently also build decentralized game platforms. I have resources, tons of resources that I bought, and I give access to a lot of people who are interested. One thing you're going to do for yourself is that you have to quickly understand at this early stage that nobody is going to make you a software engineer overnight. And even when people want to help you to accomplish your vision to be a software developer or an engineer, 90% of the effort is going to come from you. What I'll just do, or what I'm trying to do, is to give you like the 10% opportunities that probably you didn't know about that can help you hit the ground running immediately on your own. In as much as I want to practically guide and teach you how to write software and all that, but you're not going to depend on me sitting you down like a toddler to teach you ABCD. I will show you the direction, and I will trust that if you really are interested, you will take advantage of it and run with it. The resource I'm going to be using, I will share it eventually for you guys, so you may know or may not need to bother about screenshotting them or taking note. I'll make sure that I share this Google Doc file exactly as it is, and I will keep building on it. So this is the part 1, and it's general information that will be sharing there. So by way of introduction, I want to ask a question that most of you should have also have asked yourself by now, which is, why should you become a software developer or a blockchain smart contract developer? Is it just because of the money in it? Well, if it's just because of the money in it, that's also a good reason and is acceptable, because really there's money in it. But more importantly, programming helps you to gain problem-solving skills. That is, you learn how to solve problems in a logical way, and in a creative way, instead of just going spiritual. There are people, when I used to be like that too, when you come in contact with a problem, rather than approaching that problem in a logical way or in a creative way, using your God-given intellect, we decide to go spiritual. We probably can say, okay, for this problem now, I'm going to pray for 7 days or for 21 days or even go dry fasting for 21 days or whatever. There are spiritual solutions or spiritual approach to solving problem, but there are also logical approach to solving problems. So when you understand programming and you begin to think in the way that computer programs work, then you will definitely have the thing affect you in a way that you will approach every problem from a logical perspective. You will not quickly say that, this is a spiritual problem. If you don't have money, must be village people that are blocking your money. Or if you went for an interview and you didn't succeed, you say, is near success syndrome, and you go for, instead of going to learn how to solve the problem, next week you spend the entire week in a praying camp. Okay, I'm not playing down prayer, but software development skills will help you to approach problem solving in a logical and a creative way. And as an individual, it will help you to begin to think logically. You know, when you are faced with problems, you think logically and strategically and analytically in approaching the problem the way it's supposed to be. Now, I've said that salary is a good thing. There are a lot of companies that are willing to pay heavily for people who have required skills. Of course, the skills that we're talking about has to be the skills that are really hireable. It's not every skill that people will hire you for. You have to prove that you can actually use your skill to solve problems, and that's when they will pay you money. Then, of course, there are support for new technologies that are also important. You know, every day there are new technologies that are coming up, and knowing software development, knowing about coding, knowing about technology at the background helps you to approach new technologies from a familiar perspective, which is really extremely important for us. Then you can also learn programming because you can bring meaningful change to your society and to your communities. One of the advantages that I have had so far in leveraging my skills as a web application developer is that if something is, if I think about a problem, I can quickly go build it. I can build it for myself. I can build it for someone. I can build it for an organization. It's an approach that I used when I used to work for a particular big organization. And when I got in there, I found out that they really didn't have a software unit, and they were not utilizing digital process in managing their administrations. And I was extremely happy to utilize my skills as a software developer to solve virtually every problem that we encountered. Of course, the software industry is a thriving community. Today, you can see everywhere on the web, we have Web3 communities, you have blockchain communities, you have data science communities, you have 3D printing communities. So there are a lot of thriving communities that are out there that you'll be happy to join, okay? And that's really something that will make you extremely happy. There's also increasing demand for people who have software development skills. And what's better than the fact that people are looking for you? You're never idle. You know, since I got involved with tech, I've never been idle. I've never been out of work. Okay, so if I was working and I quickly leave the job I was doing, someone else will quickly find me and engage me. And if I don't want to work for people, someone can consult me. Someone can use me as an advisory person for their project. So you are never really idle. I think for the rest of your life, you will never really be idle if you're willing to be, involved in the tech environment the way we are talking about. So the increasing demand is another reason why you should consider getting a career in software development. So where did everybody start? I think most people who start their career in software development start from keyboarding, understanding basic keyboarding skill. Keyboarding is when you're able to sit on a laptop or in a computer and you're able to comfortably pick the typefaces that you want, and you're able to type reasonably. I'm not saying that you have to be like what we see on computers and somebody, a hacker just wants no, that's not what I'm talking about. And you should be comfortable with keyboard. We're in a generation where most people use phones. Yes, you can actually use phones to learn programming. You can use phones to write coding and all that, but it's not a comfortable device to use. You eventually need to get yourself a laptop or a desktop. I recommend that if you can't afford a decent laptop, you could just get yourself a Raspberry Pi 4. All it needs is for you to add a keyboard and a mouse. Typically, you already may have a TV in your house, and that's it. You have something that you can start with. I have I mean, dozens of Raspberry Pi. I started using Raspberry Pi from Raspberry Pi 2. I have Raspberry Pi 2, Pi 2B, Pi 3, Pi 4, and so on. So I have those stuff and I use them. So it's something that anyone can easily pick up and use. Okay, so you have to learn keyboarding. And in the resource document I will give to you, there are links to Typing Club or typing.com, where you can easily use their online platforms to learn how to type on a regular keyboard, not on a phone. Then there are issues that I've mentioned earlier that has to do with computer science degree versus self-taught programmers and bootcamp developer courses. These are different pathways that people follow when they want to realize their dream of becoming software developers. Like I mentioned initially, computer science degrees are ideal, but not many people have the opportunity or the money to pay for the high cost of really acquiring computer science degree. I mean, real computer science degree. I'm not talking about the kind of computer science degree that they teach in Nigerian universities and you never really see a computer all through your schooling, or if you're able to see it, you are seeing obsolete computers and all that. I remember in my school days, we did computer 101, but I never, or our classmates never really saw a computer at all. We didn't see computer at all throughout our computer 101 course. And, you know, it's not really what you see and you say, okay, that's not the kind of computer science degree I'm talking about. If you want to really get a computer science degree, you have to attend a school that has a practical computer program for people who are taking those courses. Okay. And if you are not able to do that, then you do like the rest of us have done, taking either bootcamp developer courses, or we take advantage of the tons of self-taught programming courses that are online, which I will show you right now. Okay. Then pathway is also, they are what they call full stack developer, in which case you're going to be a one-man army when it comes to building a software application. You will be able to do both the front end and the back end application all by yourself without the need for anybody to help you to do any work. Okay, those are the people we call full stack developers. Then we have a much more easy route for anyone to follow, which is learning web development and actually executing web development jobs as a foundation to becoming a self-taught programmer. Somebody can finish computer science school in Nigeria and he wouldn't even know how to build a website. Okay, but computer science degrees are really important because it helps you to learn about the fundamentals of software development in a way that you may not learn from a bootcamp or even in a self-taught environment like some of us did. So I have outlined a couple of resources that I believe that will be very useful to you. And many of us would like to go to Harvard University. That's fantastic. But maybe we don't have the money to do that. But you can stay in your house and get some Harvard University degree free courses, by taking some of these courses that I'll be outlining to you. So I have two tools here. You have Stanford University, you have Harvard University, where you can take the pathway that they have said and gain these degrees. Yes, you may not have gone to Harvard University physically to get a bachelor degree, but you can get a certificate from Harvard University by taking some of these courses. The first one is Introduction to Computer Science. Okay, so if you want to really get a computer science background, this course is for you. So you can get yourself by subscribing to the course. It's completely free. You're not paying any dime. So you learn about the fundamental concepts and prominent languages to get started with in technology. Then they also have a course called web programming with Python and JavaScript. This is extremely important because Python is becoming increasingly useful in a world where data science is becoming the go-to place. So you need Python, knowledge of Python very well, so that you'll be able to play key roles when it comes to the data science environment. Of course, JavaScript is extremely important because if you're going to eventually get involved with things like writing smart contracts and building front web applications, you need knowledge of JavaScript in a way that will, help you to easily create those front-end applications that definitely make it easy for users to be able to use their applications. Then also, there's also a course from Harvard, which is the Introduction to Game Development. Yes, today we have seen that gaming is no longer a waste of time. People play games for money. There are career gamers and they play it and they make money by so doing. So learning how to create those games is also something that Harvard offers you opportunity to learn. Then, of course, understanding technology. Let's say you don't have any understanding about technology at all. You are a GGC and nothing about technology is really clear to you. You can go and take this course from Harvard, and no matter what field that you decide to enter in future, what you will understand from this particular course will make every other thing easy for you to flow with. So it explores hardware and the internet, security, and everything around that. Then, of course, there are people also who may decide that building web application is not their thing. And what they want to do, they want to focus on building mobile applications. Mobile applications are native apps that are typically built to run on your mobile devices, either on your Android or your iOS devices or Windows devices or wherever. These are mobile applications. So if you want to learn the fundamentals of how to build those kinds of apps, Harvard University has a course that you can go and take, and you get those fundamentals to help you get started. Then we also have Introduction to Artificial Intelligence with Python. I mentioned earlier that Python is a go-to tool for building applications in AI. So this particular course will help you accomplish that without any issue. Then there is this fantastic course, Becoming an Entrepreneur. Yeah, you may attend this webinar that we are doing now, or you may eventually decide that building or writing codes is not your thing, but you want to be a techpreneur. You want to know what it takes to build technology-driven companies. This course from Stanford University is something that you should actually take. It's really interesting to know how you can structure your organization and the pathways that you can follow to build the next unicorn. So now I'm going to be showing you courses that are offered, free courses that are offered also by Stanford University that are also useful. You have the Computer Science 101 offered again by Stanford University. You have Introduction to Computer, and it's a self-taught. All these courses are all self-taught course materials that requires no prerequisite knowledge. So anybody, no matter your background, you can actually begin to take those courses. Again, Stanford has machine learning course, then designing your career. Okay. This particular course will help you, with design thinking approach to help you, or it doesn't matter your age or your background, develop a constructive and effective approach to designing. Okay, so it's something that you may consider taking. Then Introduction to Internet of Things, database, advanced topics in structural query level, So all these courses are available. Introduction to Game Theory, they're also available from Stanford. You have courses from Programming Fundamentals, free programming language and software environment used for statistical computing and graphics. Introduction to Cryptography. These are courses that will open your eyes, whether it's cybersecurity, cryptography, this data science, algorithm analysis. these contents will be available for you, and you will definitely gain a lot from that. So I'm going to share the link. So even while I'm talking, you may begin to even possibly take a look at some of the links for yourselves. So I'm dropping the chat for everyone. Just one moment, I want to drop this message for everybody. Okay, so everyone can see the link. So when you hit that link, you'll be able to get it and then view what I'm talking about there from your own side. Okay, so let's look at possible job roles that you can get in the blockchain space when you eventually complete your journey. Okay, so for majority of jobs, building dApps require experience in working with web applications of either Python or including Python, JavaScript, React, and Node.js. I will explain each of them shortly and how they become relevant. So you could get a job as a blockchain integration API design, and you can get a job, well-paying job that focuses on blockchain integration, which includes APIs, that is application programming interface design and development. You can get a job in that aspect. You can get a job that has to do with performance testing and development. You can get a job that has to do with technical support or general dApp development and maintenance. Of course, you have smart contract engineers. These are people who help you to build smart contract applications, write these codes that execute when certain conditions have been met. Then you have smart contract audit. These are people who help to audit already written smart contracts by project teams to make sure that there are no codes that are hidden that people can take advantage of and drain other people's wallets. Sometimes I wonder why some of these big companies that eventually post that they have lost billions of dollars because of a smart contract hack. I wonder why they didn't have proper auditing. With that kind of amount, you should be able to pay $40,000, $100,000 to smart contract auditors. That's a discussion for another day. You can have job roles that has to be based on business process testings. There are job roles there. Then there are also managerial roles that has to do with blockchain projects, supervision and planning, ICO, company advisory, then project management. These are all job roles that are available for you to take. Now, let's come back to what the basics are. As long as the internet will exist or still remaining there, the foundations of the web, which is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, will continue to be useful and needed for anyone who wants to build or develop applications on the web. So you must learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. It's really extremely important. There is a platform project that I normally will recommend. That's HTTPS sololearn.com. It's a recommended website where you can learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript using whether it's mobile or your laptop or desktop, whatever device, or your tablet, whatever device that you have. They have a very well optimized platform that can help you learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, including but not limited to some of these other frameworks, other applications that I've mentioned here, like Node.js, React, Angular, Vue.js, and so on. Going to sololearn.com is one key place that I'm sure will be very useful to anyone who is interested in quickly picking up skills in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Extremely important, extremely important. So I hope to see those who want to progress in this course to present to me their certificates that they have obtained from SoloLearn, because when you finish learning in SoloLearn, they're going to give you and issue you a certificate, okay, which I expect that you should post it for me to know that you are really serious about it. So these are going to be the prerequisite for continuing in this course, because I can't take you through some of these fundamentals. You have to prove that you will learn these things all by yourself, you know, by taking the course seriously. Okay. So if and when you are through with acquiring this basic foundation of the web, if and when you are through acquiring these basic foundations of web development, then we can begin to transition into decentralized application development. And when we get to that aspect, then we'll be getting good introductions to the different kinds of blockchains that are available and where you can begin to build those types of applications. So the best blockchain networks that you can build on as of today include platforms like Ethereum, Cardano, Polygon, Bantu, Waves platform, Solana, Polkadot, Tezos, Stellar, Algorand, Binance Smart Chain, of course. And then we need to grab this new set of skills. If you check here, these skills that are listed here are skills for building web applications: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Node.js, React, Angular, Vue.js. Then under it, you see that you have Bash, you have Git, you have XAMPP, you have NPM. These are command line tools that you use in helping you to execute applications faster than relying on the front end for everything that you want to do. So in as much as you're going to be getting these primary web development skill sets sorted out, you also need to understand the basics of command line tools that are going to be useful to you. Then when you are done with all those ones, you have another set of skills waiting for you here. These ones are the skills required for building decentralized applications. And they include a JavaScript library known as Nest.js, Infura, which is a node platform that enables you to connect to Ethereum node. Then, of course, Truffle, which is like a local environment that will enable you to create your blockchain applications working with Ginache. Okay. Then, of course, MetaMask is a decentralized wallet that you need to use from time to time to sign transactions for your application. Then we have the WASM, that is the WebAssembly. Then we have Solidity IDE, which is integrated development environment where you can build your smart contracts and execute them. Then you have Remix, which is an online IDE that enables you to just go on the web and write smart contracts, connect to an Ethereum chain, and execute your smart contract. Of course, you need to also be conversant with how to use Etherscan, which is a place where you go and check whether transactions are confirmed or not and all that. Then IPFS is a decentralized storage platform for probably you're building things like NFTs, and you need to decentralize your storage. You don't want to store in maybe one single location, and maybe if that particular server is down, the access to your files are no longer there. That's the benefit of IPFS. It's a decentralized storage platform where you can store your images, your music, your whatever kind of digital asset that you have. You can store them and make sure that as long as there is an IPFS node that is running, your data will have access. Okay, so let me explain some of the new skill sets that you'll be getting there, okay, and what they will do for you. And I'll take some questions from you. So in order to write smart contracts, you need to have an integrated development environment. Another name for it is IDE. So you have to understand that Ethereum or Ethereum compatible blockchains are like a very big computer. Just look at it the way you look at your laptop or your desktop, and look at it in a very broad way. Your desktop is let's say you're using Windows or you're using Linux or using MacBook. There is an operating system that runs on it. That is the operating system of the machine. That's the machine itself. Okay, so if someone else wants to build a software that will run, let's say, on top of Windows or on top of Linux, on top of Mac, he doesn't need to build the machine controlling or the machine emulation environment. He doesn't need to build it again. He will just build using some kind of tools that are provided by that particular platform. He will create a software that will just run on top of it. Okay, so with that understanding, look at the Ethereum virtual machine as a big global computer that's running on the internet. Okay, now this big global computer is on and it never goes off. So anywhere anyone in the world wants to build an application using a set of tools that are provided by the Ethereum developers, you can build an application and deploy it on top of that gigantic machine. So that's why it's called Ethereum virtual machine. It's a machine, but you can't see it, virtual. You know, just like a software running on your computer is also virtual. You can't see it. The only thing is that you're seeing the physical hardware that is housing it. In the case of Ethereum, you're not seeing it. It's running on the web protocol, and you can build something and deploy it, and it will run on it. So to be able to build those things, you need what they call integrated development environment, so that you can write those codes following certain processes and syntax and rules to be able to deploy them on top of the Ethereum virtual machine. And that is actually why you need a Solidity coding skill, because Solidity is the language or one of the languages that you can use in writing those smart contracts that you can execute on top of Ethereum virtual machine. So you will be able to do all that as we progress. I'll show you how to do all that. Now, because the execution of functions written in Solidity requires gas fees, it's expected that developers learn how to accomplish much of what they want in a few lines of code. In other words, the way Ethereum virtual machine is designed is that for you to execute a set of functions, a set of codes that will perform a particular kind of unique function, you need to add some money. And that money will be what will enable that code to be able to execute, because there will be transaction fees. When you deploy it, you have to sign the transaction. And signing that transaction will take somebody's computing power, as at when Ethereum was still using proof of work. Right now is proof of stake. But at least someone is going to stake his Ethereum to enable you to sign those transactions. And that's what's called gas fees. The Ether that we trade on exchanges actually are gas. They are like the native tokens of the Ethereum platform that are meant for transactions, but we speculate them because developers will need to get them if they want to deploy their asset. So each time they need it, we'll sell it to them. Okay, so that creates that kind of a speculation around that. Okay, so the next thing that it's also important that you're going to also learn at a very early stage is that writing smart contracts and using them in live environment without proper auditing can be extremely dangerous, because people can take advantage of your limited knowledge and steal money. Because when you deploy your smart contract in a live environment, that is in a live chain environment, you will be exposing people who have money and they are putting that money in your application. So when your smart contract has issues or when they are not properly updated and someone sees such a smart contract code, remember that all these smart contracts, they will be deployed in an open source environment. So anybody can view your contract and read it. You'll just copy the contract address, go to Etherscan, paste it there, and you read it. So by the time you're reading it, you can see the limitations of the person who wrote it. So that's where Open Zapling comes in. Open Zapling is a library of battle-tested smart contracts that people who know better, at least much better than most of us younger people, have, battle-tested, and they have come up that, okay, if you take this code that we have created, then your chances of being exposed to risk is extremely reduced. So most smart contract developers utilize Open Zapling as the basic foundation for their smart contract. So you're going to learn how to use that in Open Zapling. There are other platforms where you need to grab information that will help you. Either Blocks is a platform on YouTube, and they also have a paid version where anyone can create token, and they also learn how to create other kinds of decentralized applications going to using their different blockchain environment. One other very useful tool that you're going to be learning how to use is MetaMask, which is a decentralized wallet for building applications that are running on Ethereum type of blockchains, whether it's Ethereum, whether it's Binance Smart Chain. There are several other ones that utilize Ethereum as their wallet. So you get to learn how to, utilize some of the developer tools that are available for MetaMask to build your application and leverage that wallet to execute your functions. Yes, there are some times that you may not want to do everything you want to do on the web. In that case, you want to create your local environment. Many of us, when we're building web applications, we were using what we call the XAMPP tool. XAMPP has MySQL, PHP, and all that kinds of libraries that you could put together. You just install one and it has everything. That's the same way that if you want to have a local development environment, you can install something that is like XAMPP, but this time around, it's for decentralized application development. So you have this truffle suite that has Ganache and truffle, and it creates the Ethereum visual environment for you in your local machine. So you can write smart contract and you deploy it in local environment. You can have wallet generated for you, and you have them all within your computer in a local environment, and you can play around with the fake Ethereum that they will be giving to you, and you can do everything and test them exactly the way it should be before you decide to deploy them on a live server. Another type of environment like that too is what you call Hard Hat. Hard Hat is a Solidity smart contract development environment that facilitates building an Ethereum and Ethereum compatible blockchain. So when you go to hardhat.org tutorial, you'll see a whole lot of information that will be very helpful to you. Again, even when we're building web applications, we were using NPM. NPM is Node Packet Manager, is a software library that contains over 800,000 packages that can help you to get the bare bone tools that you need to start building your web application. And because you remember I said earlier that decentralized applications are an extension of centralized applications, only that this time around, instead of storing your data in one single database, you are relying on storage in multiple databases. So again, because it will run on the web, you need to have knowledge of NPM, because things like Node.js and all the libraries that you need to execute some of the time you want, they will be needed in that particular environment. Then the next thing, of course, is you need a local coding software that you can use. So I'll recommend that you just download. Microsoft did beautiful IDE called Visual Studio Code. It's free for all kinds of machines, so you can download them. It can help you to write codes properly with the proper syntax and follow given structures. You can use them, whether it's Solidity, whether it's JavaScript, whether it's Python, whatever. Most programming languages are supported by Visual Studio Code. So I recommend it, and you need to get them. I've mentioned earlier about command line tools, and these are tools that help you to really get into the nitty-gritty of computing. Everything is not usually on the graphic user interface. Sometimes you need to confront that command line interface, that black shield that everybody scares away from, because actually that's where most of the magic happens when it comes to computing. So getting to knowledge of Bash is really important. So I have a link there for you to download cmdr.net, which is something that is more powerful than the regular command line that you have in Windows machines. If you are using MacBook, I think the terminal there is perfect for you. If you're using Linux, I think the terminal there is also perfect for you. JIT is a version control system, especially if you're working with teams or more than one person. So let's say I'm here working from Lagos, and I have teams in Canada, I have teams in South Africa. We can be working on one single project, and I can make a change, and that change will have to pass through a process before it goes live. So if we want to track the different changes that we are making, different versions that we are creating, JIT is the tool for doing that. And you will definitely deal with issues that has to do with JIT, especially when you move from being someone that is building for yourself and you are now part of a team. You need to understand JIT. And typically it works with the GitHub repository. So if you have a GitHub account, then you can, from your computer, automatically use JIT command to push versions of your code to the repository at GitHub. I've mentioned the web-based IDE, which is Remix IDE, and it's usually easier for most developers to just get on the Remix and begin to do what they want to do without needing to download anything or necessarily having to have a local development environment for what they want to do, especially smart contract development. Remix is usually very easy for you to use for that. I mentioned earlier that IPSF is a decentralized storage environment. You will need it. You will definitely need it. You don't want to store something on probably a web host account, and before you know it, the server is down and your assets are no longer accessible via the web. That's where IPFS come in handy. Definitely, if you want to have an instant node, if you don't have services like Infura, for instance, in order to build decentralized application, you will need to set up your own node in your own environment so you can connect to it, because connecting to your node connects you to the blockchain itself. That's where Infura comes, because Infura enables you to have access to an Ethereum node, for instance. And once you have access to an Ethereum node, it means that you have access to the decentralized database entirely. So they play critical role in helping developers build decentralized applications, because with just a few clip of miles here and there, you already have access to a node, and the APIs will be provided for you to connect in your local development environment. In the course of my researching building web applications, I have come in contact with a few frameworks that enables you to quickly build some of these things. And they include platforms like Moralis, okay, where you can utilize some of their libraries to build and deploy dApps on either Ethereum or Binance or Polygon or Solana or Enron, and many other platforms that they have. So they have just a few codes that you call. So basically what it comes is like in your code, you import some of the APIs that will be provided for you when you sign an account with them. And they will give you instant access to a lot of tools that you don't need to bother building yourself, you know, and usually platforms like this help you to quickly deploy applications. I mean, in 24 hours, you will have a blockchain application running already if you know how to utilize them. Then we also have a similar framework, Tatum, very useful for building decentralized applications. So when you get the links to this file, you can actually check each of those resources one by one. So I've also outlined other frameworks that are useful frameworks. You have Embark Labs, you have Use dApps, you have Simba, and so on. Simba is actually a platform for building decentralized applications as a service. So you can compare them to some of the web platforms that enables you to build on top of what they have already built, like Drupal, to build your applications, or WordPress. Okay, so you also need to go through some of the other learning resources that I've included there. I've tried to run through this so that it will not be too long, and get you all started. And we'll know the people who will continue next by those who complete the quests that I have given you here, which is the web application development basics. You need to go through HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and have your certificate available. And that certificate will be the admission into the next classes that we're going to be having. Okay, so I'm going to stop here and take some questions from you. I hope you learned something, did you?
Very well, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I learned very well.
Yes, sir, we learn very well.
Okay, so what about the links that I've sent? Who has not gotten the link? Or have you all seen the link on the chat?
So I have not gotten the link, please.
I've seen the link.
Okay, you just check the chat. If you check the chat, you're going to see the link, and I can post it again.
Okay, I've seen it now.
Okay, I've posted it again. So when you hit that, you get this resource. So what I'll do is this particular resource, I'll build part 2 into it, part 3 into it, and we'll use it as the resource material that we're going to use. You can't edit it because you can only view. I'm the one that created it, so I'll be the only one that will have the power to edit it. So you can only view it, can share with other people. But from time to time, I will build on top of it and let you know so you can update your information. So let's take some questions.
Okay, I have a question, sir.
All right.
Wonderful presentation. I appreciate you, sir. This knowledge is not taken for granted. So, as you were making the presentation, I browsed this Solo Learn immediately. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, I browsed the Solo Learn, and I noticed that it seems it has a premium package. So for some of us that are students or some that cannot afford the premium package, I don't know if the 14 days free trial can do any good for us, because some of these links you shared, I don't know if they are more on free trials or free courses where you can just get your certificates. You know,
Okay,
some of us can't afford these courses. Yes, sir. Thank you.
okay, so from the best of my knowledge, SoloLearn is free for most of the courses that are there. Okay, I'm just hearing from you that they have added paid.
I just saw a 14 days free trial. So what it means is maybe after the 14 days, I don't know what it meant.
But I can guarantee you that you can learn and complete your courses in less than 14 days. Frankly, you can. Okay, beyond SoloLearn, there are
Like the website applications.
There are
The web from mobile.
I'm going to populate the document with other free resources for learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. There's tons of them that are free, absolutely free. Okay, right now I'm looking at the SoloLearn platform. It says best way to learn to code, courses designed by experts and real-world practice. Join our government. It's free. So I don't know exactly where you saw. It has been free for a long time. It's been free for as long as I know. So, okay, I think they have a pro version, which is 2x unlimited practice. 2x pro users are twice as likely to incorporate practice in their learning plan. Add free experience, habit formation. I think just go ahead and sign up for the free. And if you don't finish before that time, then that's a different ballgame altogether. So just go ahead. 14 days is a long time to really get something like this free. So just go ahead with that.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Okay. I can
So
see
please,
another hand.
my second question.
Okay.
Sorry, please. My second question is, after this stage, as in, are we expected to give feedback of what we've learned back to you? I don't know how it will be.
Okay, so this course that we are doing today is what I call expository, and that's why nobody bothered about registering, because I don't really know how many people who are really serious, because sometimes you make a post and everybody says, oh, I'm interested, oh, I want in and all that. Okay, like today, I think we're just around 50, but the post that I made, we have like 100 and something people showing interest. So I believe that we'll still weed out people who are really not that interested in the course. So what will happen is I'm going to publish another group. There's a Facebook group that I've created. Access to that Facebook group will be passage of some of these fundamental courses that I've already mentioned here. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So it is access to getting more information about what we are going to be discussing. So consider this one is open and free for everyone to, I mean, whether you're interested or not, at least you have been able to see the exploratory session. After that, joining that particular FV group, you have to give us your certificate that shows that you have done your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, because we cannot progress until we have people who have gotten those fundamentals. So you look out for it.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay, go ahead. Is that
So, just to say on what you just said, is it getting a certificate, which is the entrance, that it's the main deal, or it's actually knowing what is there? Because someone can go through it and just get a certificate to have the pass entrance.
You cannot get the certificate without taking the test. There are tests that you'll be made to, go through. Just like if you go to school now, after teaching you, they will set an exam for you. When you pass the exam, they will give you a certificate. Okay, with that certificate, you can go somewhere and present. Now, if you didn't go to school and you got someone to help you buy the certificate, you are deceiving yourself now. I mean, if you are now saying that I know CSS, JavaScript, and HTML, and we are now doing something for those who already know it, and you don't know it, who is deceiving who now? You understand? So it's not like I don't expect anybody to play with something that is important for him. You're not doing it for me. I'm for goodness sake. You see me tell you that when you don't get it, you don't come and pay me, and you don't know. I just want to help as many people as are interested in helping themselves. And anyone who wants to joke around it or play with it, it's not your business. I don't lose anything. Okay. So I can't bother about someone who wants like subvert something that is for what now? For what purpose? Really, it's not one of the things I want to bother my head about. I believe that people who are participating are people who really have interest in finding a direction for them in the software development world. And I'm giving them information based on that fact. Is that okay? All right. I can see another hand. Is this Simon?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Please, thank you for this introduction. Please, I want to ask you, how long to build a career in blockchain? Like, begin from when we will start this whole thing, how long are we going to look forward to building this blockchain career?
Okay, a question of how long would it take to someone to completely get the knowledge that he needs. It depends on how much effort does someone have to put. One of the experiences that I have had with people that I've dealt with at this level is that 6 months is usually a maximum amount of time. Either they get it within 6 months or they find something else and do. Okay, so if you give yourself between 3 to 6 months and you give your all, I'm very, very certain that you'll be able to get the skill set that will enable you to progress. Remember that after 6 months or 3 months, that doesn't make you a senior software developer in any way. Probably you're a beginner. So beyond becoming a beginner, that is, you've gotten the fundamentals and all that, what you now need to prove that you have moved from beginner to intermediate is being able to build sample applications, which I'm going to show you and help you to also build, because that sample application will be part of your portfolio, which can qualify you for either getting employment or getting a job as a freelancer. Not many people are going to employ you as a beginner. Not many people are going to give you projects, live projects to build as a beginner. In other words, after the course, when you have grasped this knowledge, these fundamentals as a beginner, there are 2 ways that you can do it. Either you join another team as a junior developer. They may pay you or they may not pay you, but what are you doing? You're learning from live and industry environments, so that by the time you see other people working in a live and industry environment, you'll be able to like understand some of the things that you couldn't get from just learning from examples that you are making in your homes. There's a difference between building a functional decentralized application and you test it on testnet and it's working, and you just deploy it on the mainnet and it's working. There's a difference between that and that you have deployed an application that thousands of people are using, and there are different kinds of user feedbacks that are coming in. You don't have any experience with that. So finding yourself working with a team of developers will help you to gain those knowledge, which will qualify you now to become maybe employed by a dev team to be a software developer. So there's a whole lot of journey. I'm being honest with you on how these things work. There's a whole lot of journey that gets you to that point where you start earning that 6-figure income that you are dreaming of. Hope that answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay, sir. So my question is, when is the next class?
Okay, next class will have to be the 2nd week of January. And between that 2nd week of January, I should be able to expect that the people who are interested in progressing, we have gotten these foundations. and we can now go to some kind of practical environment to use those skills to build stuff.
So I have a question.
Okay.
So follow up, sir. So my follow up is from now till the second week of January, will it be enough to learn the HTML, Java, the JavaScript and the CSS?
Absolutely, yes. Even if you have never coded before, 3 weeks, 4 weeks is more than enough period of time for you to learn HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. It's more than enough. What is important there is how serious and how important is this stuff to you. You can finish in that solo line, you can finish the HTML class in 48 hours. You can finish the CSS in another 48 hours. Do you understand me? So you go through the course program, then you have some time to practice it and know that, okay, this is what the fundamentals of, or at least you should be able to pick up all the fundamental concepts that has to do with all this in 1 month. I guarantee you that it's possible. Forget Christmas, so person where they get something when they push, they think about Christmas. So.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
I'm listening.
Good
I have a
afternoon.
question.
Let's hear
And,
Coach C.
yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Well
Yeah. Thank you for this opportunity, and I love it. But I have these 3 questions to ask. You said you're going to give us the recordings.
Yeah.
How are we going to get it?
So what I'll
That's
do,
one.
I'll upload the recordings to YouTube and share the link, and you can always go back to watch it.
Okay. Then number 2, does this class start us on the Solidity development immediately? Is this the beginning of our class?
Okay, so this is the general class where we define if we want to progress or not. The next class is for those who have met those prerequisites, which I have outlined, which is knowledge of HTML, knowledge of CSS, and knowledge of JavaScript, which if you start those programs today, don't wait till tomorrow. Do you understand? Don't say, I'll start it tomorrow. Today, the Bible said that today is the acceptable time. Go today, click on SoloLearn, sign up, and start your HTML class. Start with HTML. After HTML, go to CSS. After CSS, go to JavaScript in that precision. Each of them, when you are completed, you get certificate. So when we invite you to the group, you will paste the link to your certificate in the group so that we'll check it, see your certificate, then admit you. I hope that clears it.
Yes. Okay, so please, I'm very, in fact, this is my first Zoom when it comes to web designs and all that. Okay. So I want to ask, on journey to the Solidity development, are we going to by any means learn something like Scrum Masters?
No.
Okay.
Our journey to Solidity is simple. We move from knowledge of web application development to add decentralized application to that web application development that we have had. Remember, both web application and decentralized application are all applications that are built on the web. But we want to make sure that those who want to learn decentralized application have, first of all, known about centralized application.
The basics.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That will be all.
Okay. Next question.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Actually, mine is not really a question. I just want to appreciate you for doing this, because since I started following you on Facebook, I think I've sent you direct message, DM like twice about something like this, like you can please connect me to how I can learn programming and Solidity and all that. So I really appreciate this opportunity that you've given us. And coming from, I'm a graduate of computer science, so I already have foundation in CSS and HTML, maybe not so much in JavaScript. So right from today, I'm going straight into JavaScript, and I'll make sure I try my best to qualify to the next round. And thank you very much. I so much appreciate you for this opportunity. May God bless you. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. There is we have, let me maybe at this time, there's also a Telegram group where I share a lot of content. It's a private Telegram group. Maybe some of you are already there, some of you are not, but I'm going to drop the link to the Telegram group. You can't find that group on Telegram. It's only available by invitation. So we have 4,000 plus people who are focused on what you're trying to learn. So I'm dropping that link here. So if you are already on Telegram and you want to join the group, you can join the BNUG group there. I drop a lot of useful content there, and it will be helpful for you if you can join the group. And don't dare to spam the group, because the admins there are not just admins, they are there to throw anybody out and make sure they don't join again if they upset any of the rules, please. Okay, any questions again? I don't want
I have
too
one
long.
question, sir.
That's why I want us to end up early enough so that the video will not be too long for us to upload. Okay, Shedra, go ahead.
Okay, good day, everyone. My question is, the class, is it going to be in batches? Because imagine me now being the first to finish the test and get the certificate now, maybe about 10 persons. Are we going to start while waiting for, or we wait for the rest of the people to finish, then we start once?
That's why I have said that the second class should be coming in around the second week of January 2023 by God's grace. And by that time, I expect that people who are really interested will do the needful, because nobody can say, I want to be a smart contract developer, I want to be a blockchain engineer, I want to know how to build a decentralized application, without knowing that it's going to take some efforts. Okay, I believe that we're all matured people who know the value of delivering and putting in the works to be able to get what we expect. So I expect that you guys are serious. Do you understand me? If I think that you guys are not serious, I'll just say, well, just nobody should waste his time. Okay. So what I'm believing is that there will be people who will be serious. And I don't expect that everybody is going to, like, just like if you check the posts that we have made concerning this training, you have like 100 and saying, I'm interested. At the end of the day, we have like 50 showing up. Okay. So they are weeding out already. Maybe it's because of time or because of, I think Shiloh is going on, that people that have went to Shiloh. I was thinking maybe we should push this thing forward so that people who are going for Shiloh and other church events will not miss out. But hey, it is what it is. So I believe that there are also people who will be serious about it. So we'll run with those people who are serious. So once we have the number of people that I believe that is justifiable for us to have our class, we go. So you shouldn't worry yourself about that. We can't wait for everybody, because you don't even know whether everybody is interested or serious. So we'll work with those who are interested and who are serious, and they're able to meet those criteria. I hope that answers.
Okay. Yeah, answered. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you for the training and the opportunity you have given to us. So I want to ask, like, one of some persons that is already learning some of these languages before now. So, and the length before we can finish what we are doing is longer than when you require. That is before they will give us the cert. So, because should we go now to solo learn and just meet up with the requirements to get the cert?
Okay, so let's assume that you already.
Next, or should we continue with that one?
Okay, so I get you. So let's assume that you already you have knowledge of HTML, you have knowledge of CSS, you have knowledge of JavaScript. Let's assume that you have. Now, how do we know that you have it? There is no proof. So why don't you just go and run through those courses again? Since you know them, it wouldn't even take you time. Okay. If someone doesn't know it, it will take him a longer time to grab those knowledge. But if you already know, then it will be easy for you because you can easily pass through the steps and answer the questions and take the exam and get the certificate. So why don't you just go take the course and let it be like a refreshing opportunity for you to assure yourself you actually know it and still have those certificates, because it's really important for us to have a single qualifying element that everybody will know that, yes, we all have this basic foundation. It's like when you go to a church, you know, you can't say that because you attended foundation class in Christ Embassy and you now become a member of Winners Chapel and they say you should go to the foundation class. You say, no, I have, do they accept your certificate from Christ Embassy in Winners, or would they accept it in Redeemed Church? Or if you had a training that, you know, confirms your spiritual understanding in an Islamic church, with that in an Islamic setting, will you present it in a Christian setting? So it's good to have a single underlying qualifier, which is what I have decided for us to do, to have this solo learn as a basic underlying qualifier that anybody can get from anywhere in the world. And we use it as the basics to assess qualifications. I get my point.
Thank you, sir. Well understood.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well understood.
All right. So I think there are no more questions or no more answers. So at this point, I think we should move to end this particular session today, which has taken us about 1 hour, 30 minutes, approximately. Who is moving for us to close this meeting today? So I can have it on record that we close based on our. Okay, you are moving.
I am.
Okay, Rita.
I'm moving for adjournment.
Okay, Rita is moving for adjournment. Who is seconding it?
Kelvin.
Okay. All right. So thank you guys, and see you guys next time. And just make sure that you're paying attention to the announcements on my status. Thanks and God bless.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Okay. Bye.